really competitive practice today. Offense had the leg up Monday night in the stadium. Probably the best practice offensively we've had was Monday night. I thought the defense responded today, which is what you want to see. And I thought today's practice was more give and take. A lot of situational work. We went third downs, a little bit of red zone, worked a 2-minute into game. And so it was good work, but I thought defense really responded, probably had a little bit of a leg up today. Offense wasn't bad. Offense had a really good day on Monday. I like how we're progressing. I like how we're working. The team is hungry, is what you want, especially when you have this many new faces. And I think we're coming along from a cohesion standpoint. We're not a finished product, but we're coming along. So, Brett.
Yeah, you mentioned you were going to do a little more live work here over the last few days. How's that going?
Well, so defense is always ahead from a timing schematic standpoint early in spring and in fall camp. But then when you start tackling, that's a skill that you have to rep. And so early on in your tackling phases, offense usually has the upper hand. And that's the way it was. We tackled a little bit on Monday evening in the stadium, and we didn't tackle as well as we need to. We're going to tackle again tomorrow, and so I'm looking forward to see how we learn from those failures on Monday from tackling, mostly fundamental. And so we got to correct those and do a better job tackling tomorrow.
Yeah, you mentioned Monday night. You guys had a, kind of a junior day event over there. I talked to one of the guys that came, had real good things to say about it. How do you think that went? It went well.
I think when you're in a job, you learn as you go. And one thing that has been beneficial to us, most of our guys are going to come right here in the DFW or in surrounding areas. And so we try to be a little bit different and do our junior days connected to an evening practice, because so many of our recruits are local and they can drive in and drive out, and there's less competition. And we made the decision, we're only practicing on 2 weekends, and I think that's important. Is we practice on the very first weekend because we had family day. We're practicing on the last weekend of spring so we can have our spring showcase. But in between, leaving those open, because I think our players having time is important on the weekends. Our staff having time on the weekends is important. And so we've chosen to have those junior days on Monday nights. We've had 2 of them, and they've been really successful. We actually have 2 next week, and we're looking for good turnouts for those as well.
Coach, you mentioned kind of amping up the physicality so far, and then Monday the offense had a kind of a better start. What you kind of see from the offense, and who kind of stood out again that Monday one?
Yeah, well, I think both tackles Monday night had good days, both Nato and Johnny. And I thought Henry had missed a little time with a little minor injury, but he missed 2 practices, but he came back. And he's going to be a difference maker for us. He's going to be a difference maker in the American Conference. And then I thought Jaden Becks, he's been impressive. He has really seized the opportunity this spring. He's gone out with the ones a lot, and he's taken advantage of that. He was tough to tackle. I thought Brandon Haygood had a really good day as well, broke some tackles. He's kind of been in and out with a little bit of a muscle injury. And then defensively, I thought that Justin Benton defensively had a nice day. Aaron Alexander has been super consistent and that's what you expect. He's one of the leading tacklers in the Sun Belt last year at Arkansas State, so I think he's been really consistent. But those are 2 guys defensively.
In the wide receiver room, you had guys like Dalton Carnes, Barron Tipton, those guys come back from last year's squad. What have you kind of seen from them, and how have they been kind of elevate and get these other guys, these incoming transfers ready?
Yeah, I'm excited about Barron Tipton. He's I think sometimes long guys, and he's long, he's 6'4 plus. He's putting on good weight. And so this offseason's been really beneficial for him. And those long guys sometimes take a little bit more time to develop. This is year 3 for him, and I'm really pleased with his progress. He made a ton of plays on Monday night, made a ton of plays today. Dalton Carnes had his 2 best practices Monday and Wednesday of this week, and we need his leadership. Phenomenal special teams player last year, was a great special teams player at Houston, but also contributed on offense. His first year here, he was much more of a contributor on offense. We look forward to him doing that again. I think he definitely has that ability.
Coach that sticks out to me on the sidelines is Coach Pavito. He brings a lot of energy.
Yeah.
What do you think he brings to this team?
I think he brings experience and energy. He's been through the battles. You know, and Peeve and I had an opportunity to work together in 2013 in Kentucky. He was a special teams coordinator. I was the offensive coordinator, and we stayed in touch since. He's got, first of all, there's nobody that has better Texas ties in the country than he does from a recruiting standpoint. He's done it at a lot of different places. You know, it's impressive how many NFL players he's coached. And he's done it all. He's been a head coach, a coordinator, both defensively and special teams wise. He's coached secondary. He's coached linebackers. He's really a good balance over there between Pallage. And Matt and him have worked together before, so there's a great relationship there. And he's got a ton of respect. And, you know, and he's probably the oldest guy on staff. He may not want me saying that, but there's nobody that has more energy. And I think that's a credit to his routine. He's a workout, early morning guy. He comes in. He's usually the first. If I don't beat him in, he's usually the first one in. And so his work ethic is really something that's it's a great for our young coaches here. Most of our staff is young. And so for them to watch Peeve and how he handles himself in situations, whether it's recruiting, on the field, office dynamics, I think he's a great example for our younger staff.
The linebacker core was so key to turning this defense around last year. What do you think specifically he does to kind of hone in these linebackers, keep that trend going?
Well, he keeps it simple. You know, I think when you first thing that you think about in coaching is teaching. So he's really organized in the classroom. So he does a good job with that. And then his verbiage and his language is really tight. And so those guys, even though most of them are coming together for the first time, is he's done a really good job of teaching those guys, and then he puts belief into them. You know, they really believe in what he's coaching, and they play like that, and they don't want to let him down, which is one of the things from a coaching standpoint. You want there to be a relationship there where they want to do everything they can, where they're not letting you down. And Peeve's got his guys doing that.
How do you feel this team is preparing for that spring showcase in a few weeks?
Yeah, we're a work in progress. You know, that's the good thing, and I said this to our staff, I think yesterday, is after April 18th, we're still going to be 0-0. And so how can we continue to progress? Not only, I think, individually, we need to make strides. Like each player needs to continue to improve. We need to make some strides offensively and defensively, and that's more just playing together. But then we've got to figure out, and I said this to you all on Monday, I think, or on last week, is we got to figure out what we're good at. You know, so we're putting in a lot on offense and defense because we got to figure out who we're going to be. And I want to exit that spring showcase with a really good feel for what our strengths are going to be on offense and what our strengths are going to be on defense. That way, as we get into opponent prep in the summer, we can start shaping those game plans.
I want to ask you a little bit about Coach Gates. You know, he's a guy with an interesting background, came from the high school level. How has he made that transition to being a college coach?
Well, I think the benefit for him, before he was a high school coach, he coached college at West Texas A&M under Don Carthel. And I think that was a really good experience for him. So he wasn't totally new to the recruiting process. Obviously, in North Crowley, they've had a tremendous run with a lot of blue chip recruits. So he was on the flip side of it, but he understood both sides because of his experience at West Texas A&M. And the thing that I like about him is not only is he coaching our edges, but he's got really an eye as a head coach because he did it for 4 years. So he can see some things, and he does a really good job for me. Hey, coach, hey, I wanted to remind you about this, or hey, did you see this? Or we had one of our young workers had a death in her family today, and he did a good job of coming up and saying, hey, coach, just so you know, and so he's been a great benefit to me. And so the other thing that I really like is he's consistent with his energy. You know what you're going to get. The players know what they're going to get out of him each and every day. I've been super impressed. There's a reason why he had the record he had at North Crowley.
Yeah, I mean, he had such the connections all throughout the Texas high school coaching community. Have those benefited you, and do you expect them to benefit you guys as a program as you go forward?
Yes, we've benefited early on, and we've had a lot of traffic here early on, both at our junior days and high school coaches visiting. And we want to be an open program for high school coaches to come visit because the quality of high school coaching in this area is so good. When they come to visit, you know, they may be learning from us, but I can promise you the flip is true as well, as we're learning from them. And so we're getting a lot of traffic. And then his connections with high school coaches he knows, and kids that he knows, because a lot of times what happens is in high school football, you're at a lot of the same events. And so you know the kids. So he's got a lot of really good relationships with not only his kids, but also guys in the greater area.
Anything else?
Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, we can get after
All
it.
right, sounds good. Brett, go ahead.
All right, Coach Gates, new to the program, back at the college level. How's it going?
It's been going really well. You know, it's taken a little bit of time to get my feet underneath me. Being a head coach in high school, transitioning to college, being a position coach again, just everything that goes along with having the details for your guys every single day, preparing those guys every single day is a little bit different than your approach as a head coach. So it's been really good.
Yeah, Coach Brown said, harken back to the fact that you coached college before, back at West Texas, and now you're back into the college experience again. Did that help you a little bit as you made the transition?
Absolutely. You know, the game definitely has changed, from 20 years ago when I was at West Texas A&M. And now being here, the difference is more so, the NIL, the collectives, everything that go along with it on that side of it. But as far as the game and the kids, it's pretty much the same. Football is football. When you roll the ball out, the kids haven't changed very much. It's just about making the relationships every single day with those guys. So having prior being on this level and coming back, it made the transition a lot smoother.
Why did you want to come back to the college level?
Well, I think for me, it was more so about the opportunity. What we built at North Crowley the last 4 years has been unmatched. Everything that I had an opportunity to do there, it was a blessing to be there, to work with the people that I had an opportunity to work with. We created, a perennial powerhouse football program in 4 years. And so I didn't have to leave. I felt like it was an opportunity for me to become uncomfortable again, to get into an environment that makes me uncomfortable because I love to grow. I love to be around people with new ideas, with new opportunities, and this gave me that opportunity. So I feel young again.
You enjoying the experience of coaching the college level again?
More than just coaching college, I enjoy the people that I get an opportunity to work with. When you work with good people and you show up every day, everybody speaks to you, they greet you, they smile. We get into our staff meetings, everybody's high-fiving, the energy is right. It makes you look forward to coming to work every single day. And because we have that, I think that shows with our kids and the connection that we're trying to build with our team.
Yeah, Coach has mentioned a couple of times that your ties with, not just your kids at North Crowley, but throughout the DFW area has really helped in recruiting. Have those ties really helped you as you transition into this position?
Yeah, it definitely has. There are guys on this team, of course, that I coached at North Crowley. We have 4 of them currently on this team. We have 1 more that's coming in this next recruiting class. And then there are guys that I coached against that are here as well. So just being from this area, being able to create the type of buzz, taking North Crowley from, one of the programs that nobody really knew much about to everybody knowing everything about us, it's definitely helped. So when people come in and they see me, they kind of squint their eyes if they don't know who I am. And when I introduce myself, they go, oh yeah, I know who you are. And all of that had to do with what we did at North Crowley.
Obviously the jump from head coach to position coach. What are some of those techniques or special skills that you brought as a head coach to being on this edge position coach?
Well, I think for me, it gives me an opportunity to see everything, and so when I look at our position, I'm not just looking at my position, I'm looking at the defense as a whole, and then at times I get a chance to kind of scan and look at the offense. And I can tell what type of team that we're starting to create because you see the competitiveness going back and forth. And a lot of times when you don't have to look at it from that standpoint, or you don't have experience from that standpoint, you really just zone in on what you're comfortable for or responsible for. And so for me, I get an opportunity to wear that hat, in my position to be effective with the guys, and then I can cross over and have the relationship with the offensive guys, because that's what I've been doing for the last 4 years as a head coach, building those relationships on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and I noticed, I covered a lot of high school ball as well, and I noticed that chant, the whistle chant that you brought over. Is that something that you implemented early on? How did those guys kind of respond to that? Because I heard it a couple days ago. It was like right after a turnover, I heard it. I was like, I know that sounded really well. How did those guys adapt into that, stuff like that?
Well, when we were out and we were recruiting, Coach Neal wanted to go, around the Metroplex. And so, of course, we went to North Crowley. When we got there, they were in the weight room. Coach was giving instruction, Coach Harris, who's the head coach now. And before they broke out, I grabbed my whistle, I hit the whistle, and the kids, of course, they go crazy, and then they rush in and they attack the weight room. And so when we started our OTAs, we were in meetings, Coach Brown, he goes, hey, Coach Gates, you know that thing that you did with the whistle when we went to North Crowley? I said, yeah, hit the whistle. He said, do you think you can do that here? And I said, absolutely. And so we implemented it here. The first time we did it, the kids fell in love with it. You know, we'll walk in the building after practice and you'll just kind of hear them going, dun, 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 like, and there's no whistle, but it's like starting to be ingrained in them. So it's pretty cool to be able to take that from, you know, high school and implement it here.
What exactly does that entail, the whistle thing?
So the history behind it came from Cedar Hill. I coached at Cedar Hill. There was a popular song around 2013. Cedar Hill was playing a game, and I think they were down. Coach McGuire brought a radio on the sideline, and that was one of the songs that was playing, and they kind of put it on repeat. And from that point, you know, the cadence of the whistle came from that song. And so from that point on, it kind of became a staple at Cedar Hill. And so we used it our time through Cedar Hill. And then it just carried over from Cedar Hill when I went to North Crowley, when Coach Harris, who was at Cedar Hill, went to Mesquite, they did it. Coach Lynn now, who's at Crowley, they do it. So it all kind of stemmed, and it was, you know, coined at Cedar Hill.
Yeah, but what song was it? Do you remember?
It's a mystical song. It's a mystical song from like 2013. I can't, the lyrics, just know that.
In your position group, you know, who are some of those guys that have kind of stood out, especially some of those returners from last year?
Well, I think right now, you know, with that group, we brought in a lot of guys. We had to sign a lot of guys because we lost a lot. But my room is led by a veteran group of guys that have played a lot of football. You know, David is one of the guys that we signed, you know, out of the transfer portal, who has done an awesome job of digesting the entire playbook. And he gets out on the field, he regurgitates what he learns. You know, the next guy, Davion Rhodes, and then Easy, Udoka. Those guys also played Division I ball. One was at Georgia State, one was at UTEP. And so they've been in these situations before. They know what it looks like. And so we lean on that leadership that we have. And then some of the young guys that we have with Braden Knox, who was here last year, he's starting to make the jumps and the growth that we need from him from year to year. So I'm really excited about my group in that room, because we have guys in that room that can get everything done that we need them to be able to do.
You know what it takes to make a consistent power like you did at North Crowley. After the season North Texas had last season, what do you think it'll take to kind of do the same here?
Well, I think that bar is set high, right? And we have a certain expectation that we have to meet and exceed. And so our job is to take what they have done, the foundation that they have laid, you know, over the last couple of years here at North Texas, to be able to hoist that and take it to another level. And so we have to be consistent every single day in our approach that we show up. We have to make sure that yesterday, energy that we had and attention to detail isn't the same that we have for tomorrow. So when we show up tomorrow and we scrimmage, everything needs to be 1% better. We need to find a way to get better at something every single day. And that's been the stress, you know, throughout the team. And we have a team ID that we want to play with. And so those things need to be incorporated every single day that we step out on the field. And I think our guys are starting to get there, because the things that we're asking them to do isn't easy. And if you're going to be a tough football team, you have to do tough things. And that's why we're going through spring ball the way that we're doing it.
How would you describe your dynamic or collaboration with these coordinators so far?
It's been awesome. You know, there's a well of knowledge in the room. We have guys that have been at the highest of levels. We have guys that are young, they're itching to be able to, you know, set their mark. And so we have a lot of experts. And when you have a lot of experts, you have a lot of good ideas. And now it's about taking the ideas that are in the room and honing them to the ingredients that we have. We have premium ingredients, and our job as the chefs to cook this thing up is not to overshine the ingredients, but to allow what their skill set and their gifts are to shine. And I think we get an opportunity to do that when we sit in those meetings and we figure out what's the best approach for the team and the ingredients that we have.
A little bit of a snowball question, but what is it like to see Chris out there really competing every day?
Oh man, special connection with him. Special connection. I've had an opportunity to see him grow. I've had an opportunity to see him fight the adversity that he's gone through. Right now, he has an oblique strain, so he's out, and I know just the competitive nature that he has. It's eating him up not to be out there with the guys. but he is such a humble and hungry individual. And I think what makes him really unique and sets him apart is that he has an unbelievable family. He has a mom and a dad who supports him, who never, ever comes into your office as a coach and tells you this is what you need to do. They always put it back on him, and I think that has allowed him to grow from the opportunities that he has been given. And so this is one of those opportunities that he's going to learn and grow from.
Do you have a connection with his family at all?
Absolutely. Yeah, I absolutely do.
And just overall as a defense, you feel like this unit is coming together pretty well over the course of spring?
Yeah, I do. You know, we started out the first couple of days of spring ball where I felt like the defense was ahead. And normally that is what happens. Your defense is ahead because offense is about timing. It's about rhythm. And I felt like the last couple of practices, the offense has gotten to a point to where they've gotten the best, of the defense at times. And I think today was probably the best practice that we've had because it was a little bit of give and take on both. Offense and defense. We made plays, they made plays. And when you don't dominate the entire practice or dominate the entire spring ball from an offensive standpoint or a defensive standpoint, you feel good coming out because you feel like you have the pieces to be really, really good. You want this to be competitive. You want guys to have to strain and to be in uncomfortable situations, and we have put them in those situations and they're growing through them. And if you can get that through spring ball, you have the right people in the room. So I feel really good about where we are after practice 7.
Coach, when you took the job, what was kind of your former players' kind of reaction, including Chris?
They're excited, and so it's always bittersweet whenever you have to stand in front of a room of guys that you've had an opportunity to build relationships with. Like in this business, no matter if it's high school or if it's college, relationships will always run this business. And so it's always hard to stand in front of them to tell them that you're leaving. And when they heard that I was leaving to go to college, the room exploded with joy. They were happy for me. They hugged me. So that made the transition easier. It wasn't as if I was leaving to go to another high school. Coming here with the guys that we had here, they were excited, that I was here. And of course, Henry Faniku, who played for me at North Texas out of high school, was a 4-star athlete. He went to Missouri, and then he found out I was there and he wanted to come back home, and so that was very easy for him to connect with me and to be back here. And there are a lot of guys that are around right now that are playing ball other places that don't be surprised in a year or two if they're not back here. But that's the connections and the relationships that you have an opportunity to forge. And when you have kids that want to come back and want to be a part of what you're a part of, that means you did, right by them when you had an opportunity to.
Last question.
That's right.
We're good? All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, Aaron, so getting a little deeper into spring practice, how's it going?
It's going pretty good, man. Like as a new team coming together, we got growing pains, but as a defense, I feel like we're doing pretty good, to be honest.
What makes you feel like you guys' defense is performing well at this point?
Honestly, like it's a very competitive group, especially on the offensive side. Neil Brown being Coach Brown being an offensive coach and basically the offensive coordinator. Like he runs the practice like he's an offensive coach. So like when we get in his head and like the offense doing bad and like he's over there yelling, I know we're doing good. So that's how I really know we like a competitive defense.
Yeah, you've had quite the journey as a player here. You've been to a couple of different stops. Were really successful at Arkansas State. What made you want to come here?
Honestly, when I hopped in the portal, Coach Pivotal was a big reason for me coming. He just has a great track record for getting people in the league, and he's just a great person. I just wanted to be around him. I want to be coached by him, and I just want to be pushed by him every day, to be honest.
You guys have a linebacker room that's pretty experienced overall with some of the new guys coming in. And what have you kind of seen from some of them, especially guys like Zakai Barker and all those guys?
Z, he hasn't been out there with us recently, but like even though he's not out there, like he's still very much involved. Like in the meetings, like he's in there answering every question, just like me. Like he's out there with me every day. Like he probably knows the defense just as good as me, maybe even better. But I can really tell like when he does get out here, he's going to be a very experienced guy and great for us.
Aaron, what are your kind of thoughts about that room as a whole? Including Zakai as well, obviously. But.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be a great room. We're gonna be a great room. We got a lot of depth, like Chance, Brandon Reese, Jaden Manning, Kenton, Samaje. Like this is very talented, fast, physical linebacker group here that I've been a part of, and I'm just glad to call those guys my brothers.
The guy said he was kind of excited to kind of play that linebacker role in this particular defense under Coach Palish because of the activity that you guys kind of have. What's your kind of insight into the role of linebackers in this defense?
Oh yeah, most definitely. To be honest, another reason why I came is because of the defense Coach Pollard runs. Because at Arkansas State, I did run a version of it. I ran like a lot of stuff we run now. I ran before, so it's really just me putting terminology we have here with what I know. So I know, like, I had a great year last year. So if I'm in the same defense, I can do more now. So.
Obviously, there's a lot of position battles in this entire team in general, but the defensive back room seems to have a lot of guys that are competing for a small amount of spots. What have you kind of seen from some of those guys, and who's kind of stood out overall in this defense?
To be honest, I like to keep it. I don't really like to speak on that, but honestly, the person that I have seen like that had break out to me is Peyton. Peyton Taylor, I believe is his last name. But he's been hooping, like he's like first 3 practices he had like an interception like back to back to back. I'm like, yeah, you're hooping, bro. Like, yeah, like he was putting up some numbers. So that's really what I've seen.
You know, historically, North Texas has had really prolific offenses in the past. You know, you've been able to go against this offense a little bit, especially these quarterbacks. What have you kind of seen from these quarterbacks, and how have they kind of been able to sharpen y'all's skills defensively, especially as a linebacker room?
Oh yeah, to be honest, I'm not gonna lie. All 3 of them are dogs. Like all 3 of them are dogs. Like this is like it's a quarterback competition, but like who knows? Like all 3 of them are dogs. All of them can run. Like every single one of them is fast. All of them make like great plays. So like they're all making us better. Like it's hard to explain. Like they're really all like sweet. So
them being able to run, especially Jimerson and Jackson using their legs as much as they have in the past. Has that really been difficult on y'all as a linebacker room, and that's a really big position to stop that run?
Honestly, yeah, it keeps us on our toes. Like especially when we're when I'm out Apex, I have to honor the run, even if it's empty. Like it's quick game or quick quarterback draw. I have to honor that because like if I take one step to the 3 side, like they're gone, like literally. So I have to honor them.
You touched on Coach Pavito being a driving factor for you coming here. How would you define him as a coach? Because he's pretty active out there at practice.
Yeah, he's a pretty old school guy. He you know, he wants what he wants, and if you don't do it, he's gonna let you know. But he's very respectful about it. Like even if you make a mistake and then you try to explain it to him, you're probably not gonna get it to him like during that time. But like after practice, he will come to you and be like, okay, I made that mistake. Like you were right, or this is what we need to do better. But he's never degrading. He's always encouraging us, and he's just a great guy.
What's the dynamic like working under 2 coordinators working together?
Oh, it's really cool. Like Coach Pivito, he really kind of takes a back seat to Coach Pollard, but you know he's still like a defensive mind. Like you know he was ahead of Coach Pollard a while ago, so like he really, I say he listens to Coach Pollard, and it's really like it's just good. Like he yeah, my bad. I was trying to thought, but he but it's good. It's cohesive. I wouldn't say it's any like disruptions. Like it's very cohesive. Like everyone knows what they're doing and everyone knows how they're going to do it.
How's your experience paid off as you've come into this program and made that transition?
Oh, I mean, coming from Arkansas State, I did play a lot of snaps, so seeing a lot of ball is helped me coming in here now. So like when I'm out here, like I wouldn't say practice easy, but it's like I don't see a lot, and just being able to play a lot of ball is just helped me, like especially playing in this type of defense. Like I can be able to make plays, I can be able to make run throughs, cover guys. I love to cover, and it's just helped me, you know, get here and you know have my role here.
I know he's not your position coach, but Ray Gates has come in here and kind of made a big impact. You know, he's an interesting guy, came from high school. What's your impression of him been as you've gotten to know him?
Oh yeah, I can tell he's like he's a very serious, but like when he can, he's a cool guy. Like he kind of reminds me of my head coach from high school, Jermaine Crowell. Like he, you know, him coming from high school, I could tell. And he's just been a great coach. Like he's been emphasizing everything. He always yelling. You can always hear him telling me, punch the ball out, do this, do that. I could just tell he's just on his stuff every day, get in and out. So I know he's going to be a great coach for us.
He's a voice you hear out there at practice every day?
Every day. Every rep basically. I hear Coach Gates.
And we talked with him about the whistle. Is that something that you like?
Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. If you see like the videos, like I kind of be like in the middle like of the video like almost every time. I love to like get in there and just dance with them. It's just I just like to do that in the beginning of practice to get the vibe going, get the guys going. It's just I love that about Coach Gates too.
You know, obviously you have the experience, but going into the end of spring ball, what's a kind of personal goal, especially on the field, that you were trying to accomplish going to fall camp?
Honestly, secure a starting role, and become a leader of the defense. I do want to be more vocal and to create a standard for this defense. You know, we're a new group. We're all coming together. I just want to come in, like the other day, I just want to tell my linebackers, like, we got to be the standard. We got to set the standard for the defense. We got to get our group going so the rest can follow us so we can take the lead. So I just want to be that for my guys and go into fall camp and just take off.
Aaron, as you guys kind of compete against this offense, what are some things that the defense has been really good at so far?
Honestly, I'll say we've been good at a lot of things, to be honest. Like, man, like, we have sim pressures. Like, we've been good at a lot of things. I wouldn't say it's like no particular thing like we're like bad at it. Like, we've been good at it. Like, everything we've done. Obviously, there's hiccups. Like, people make mistakes and like mental errors. But like, it's not nothing like that got thrown to us. Like, oh, we are just bad at that. But I couldn't really tell you. Like, we're good at everything.
On the opposite end, what's something that the offense has kind of done well to kind of challenge you guys out there?
I'd say like probably quarterback run, like I was saying earlier, like that is kind of hard. Like they like to spread us out and get in the empty, throw a quick game, QB draw. Like those QB draws or QB runs are like those are really like our biggest problem right now. But other than that, like we have some great receivers. Like they can cut. Like even if we like they're covered, gloved, it don't matter. Like they'll go up and get the ball. So I say like we have great receivers and we have some good running backs too that can hit the hole and get upfield.
What's your go-to dance move in the middle of the whistle?
My go-to dance move, like it depends on like the song. Like I don't know if I can hit it right now, but
I think you should.
well, like the whistle, he could like do 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 do. Hey, so I'd be like. Hey, and then it's just something like that. Just something simple, like just to get the guys going. I just like to scream, and then you feel me, just get the energy pumping. So,
Cool. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you, Aaron.
yeah, appreciate it.
Good. Ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead, Brett.
All right, Brandon, getting a little deeper into spring practice. How's it going?
Oh, it's going well. A lot of guys coming from all different places. We all come together and playing as one.
Yeah, it seems like you've had a really good spring. How's the transition to North Texas been?
Oh, it's been great. It really feel like home for real. Feel like back when I was at Summer Creek. It's like a lot of people just helping me make sure I get to where I need to get to, and it's just love all around.
Yeah, and you had such a good go over there at Summer Creek where you had all the interceptions and then you had the good stop in your first year. How's the transition been to here? Is that kind of carried over as you've moved up in levels?
Of course, the main thing I just been working on is like just outwork everybody. So that been my main thing when I was at Summer Creek. Make sure I always get one more win. The same thing happened at me decent, and I'm just gonna keep it going.
Yeah, you've always had a knack for the ball. Is that just kind of your strength as a player, just the ability to get to it there?
Yeah, I watch a lot of film. I take a lot of time into the game, making sure I get everything I need to get into. And then the plays on the field is just an output of what I put in.
Yeah, it seems like you've always had a big chip on your shoulder to kind of prove yourself at a different level. Has that maintained through the transition to North Texas?
Oh, definitely. I came here with the other, because everybody went to Oklahoma State. I came down here a couple times and, they just ain't throw the offer. I don't know for what reason, things like that. So, out of high school, I ain't have no FBS offers. So then, for me, it just been, okay, so y'all don't mess with me because X, Y, and Z. Well, I'm going to show not just show everybody, but I'm going to show myself, I can play at this level.
Yeah, I mean, do you think it was the size that maybe hurt you along the
Probably,
way?
yeah. Yeah, probably the size. You look on film, they say I ain't running no 4.2. Things like that, but I'm a ball player. Like you turn the tape, you're gonna see the plays made, but it's okay. Everything happened for a reason.
Is that why you've been able to overcome it? Is just you've been able to make play after play after play like that?
Oh, definitely a mindset on the field. Cause it's you can say what you want, but I'm gonna show you what I got. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna bring to the table, and day in day out, I'm trying to bring my best.
You're in a deep position group. What have you kind of seen from a lot of those guys, and how have they been able to help you out, especially with a lot of experience that they carry?
Oh, definitely. Me, I'm the youngest in the group. Me, I'm 18, still a true freshman on the team. It's a lot of guys on the team like Tay, Cam, other guys on the team that play ball, that know what they doing. Shoot, Cam came from Baylor, so he came with the DC, so he kind of know the ins and outs, and I just be asking questions and try to soak up everything they give to me.
And what has Matt Powledge, the defense coordinator, kind of done for you, and how's he been able to kind of implement a good defense going so far throughout spring?
Not Matt. Coach Powledge. Coach Powledge, that's my dog, man. Every day he just asking like, B. Jones, you good? B. Jones, you need any like extra film watch, extra this, extra that. B. Jones, we finna do this. Like sometimes I had like some class conflicts during winter workouts. He like, B. Jones, we gonna come in earlier, make sure that we get in your thing. So yeah, it's just been amazing.
We talked to Aaron Alexander just before, and he was talking about the quarterbacks and their ability to run has been really difficult in this defense so far this year. What have you kind of seen from these quarterbacks, and especially all of them being able to use their legs?
Oh yeah, these quarterbacks is very amazing. Like they're all kind of different in their own way, but like when they use their legs, like I heard Chris hit like 22 MPH in game. I'm like, okay, that boy rolling. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's just been the quarterback run, quarterback draw is something that we definitely need to tie down on in this spring ball. But it's just day in, day out, we just got to put our best foot forward.
Coach Brown kind of highlighted you as the most consistent player thus far throughout camp. What do you feel like has kind of led to that, and what do you think that kind of looks like during practice?
What kind of led to me being very, very consistent is like I said, he was talking about earlier, the chip on my shoulder. So I'm knowing, like, me personally, I can't come late to meetings. I can't do everything else everybody else doing because of the X, Y, and Z. So that's really why I be trying to stay consistent and make sure I'm on my thing. And what was the other question?
How has that consistency kind of looked like on the field?
On the field, I'm a consistent player. Like, I'm going to be where I'm supposed to be. If it's a call made, I'm going to make the call. And it's like day in, day out. It's not like, okay, B. Jones did this Monday. We come Wednesday. We not like, no, if B. Jones did that Monday, he's going to do it Wednesday. He's going to do it Friday. Like, that's just the person I am.
And then so far in spring, have you gotten a pick six yet?
I ain't get a pick six, but I caught my first pick today, though. Yeah, I got my first pick today. But, yeah, that pick six, Mr. Pick Six, it's definitely a chip on my shoulder as well, you know. Like, man, the whole time they talking about B. Jones, you, Mr. Pick Six, you ain't get no pick. Like, what you doing out there? I was like, man, it's going to come. You can't force it, it's going to come. But I got mine today, so, yeah, we straight.
You touched on being overlooked, and then you get a comment like that in spring ball that you're sticking out as one of the most consistent players on defense. What kind of how does that recognition feel?
Oh, it feels great. You know, it feels great to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when I was growing up, when I was coming up, like people didn't really see it. I always ask my dad, like what it is. Like they don't see me working. Like he like, man, just wait, your time is gonna come. So yeah, so very like when Coach said I'm like the most consistent on the team, it's just like a tribute to me. Made me feel good, like, okay, I'm being seen, and what I'm putting in is what I'm getting out. I
remember covering a playoff game of yours in your senior year when you had a massive year. What do you think you learned from that special culture at Summer Creek?
What I learned at Summer Creek is definitely, like, brotherhood, one. Two, just every day in, day out, like, we're going to work hard. And, like, that's just been the main thing. Like, that's really where I get my consistency from. It's from Summer Creek, Coach Harrison. Like, it's like every day he tells us, he's like, we're going to do things that, like, ain't going to make sense. Like, people ain't going to be like, dang, like, why am I doing this? But you're going to get up, you're going to do it. You're going to do it to, like, your best ability because, like, that's the team we're going to play. Like, so us, Summer Creek, we playing, like, a little tough different. We had North Shore, Taxita, C. King just played for a state championship, things like that. So he's like, if we in this room, y'all want to be, like, a good team, like, be up there in the state, so we got to practice like that.
There's a lot of Texas high school football ties now here at North Texas. Does it kind of make you feel kind of right back at home with that?
Yeah, it made me feel good. You know what I'm saying? We back in the home state. Because, you know, last year I was at McNeese State, Louisiana. It was fun. It was, like, learned a lot there. But coming back to it, like, it's nothing like home. It's nothing like home.
What's the biggest difference coming up to the FBS level?
The biggest difference is speed of the game, definitely. A lot of guys a lot bigger. Too. Yeah, I definitely seen that. I'm like, bro, you 6'8"? Like, dang, bro, like you got dunked under the wall to go through the door, like things like that. Or people like they really get into it. And here it's like a lot of people like they got aspirations of going places or doing big things. So it's like the mindset is there as well.
Yeah, and because you came from the high school level, did you know Ray Gates a little bit or know of him before you came?
Oh yeah. Him, he definitely. When I was at Summer Creek, I wanted to play them so bad, like, because like North Crowley, they was popping when our senior year, like, they was Yeah, no Crowley. They won a state championship that year. Things like that. You look on your phone, you see nothing but no Crowley. Things like that. Coach Gates, and I'm like, okay, I want to play, bro. But we just ended up in different brackets. Some Creek was in D2, they was in D1. So even if we couldn't play each other, but yeah, I definitely knew about it.
What's been like to get to know him a little bit since you?
Oh, he definitely still bring like the Texas high school culture, but it's also like okay, like it's like we're about business. He was a head coach at his last school, very productive school, very great school. So he just bringing everything that he had over here.
What is it that he's brought?
Oh, he definitely brought the juice, brought the energy, brought the time to lock in. Like we ain't playing right now. Like let's get to it. And there's like little things like. Little details to help us like improve.
When we mentioned to the last two, Coach Gates and Alexander, about the whistle, the whistle chant, and he was dancing right before this. Do you like how'd you adapt to that? I know you talked about how you love Coach Gates.
Yeah.
How'd you adapt to that when he started blowing that whistle and that chant?
Yeah, he hit the first time. I was like, this sounds a little familiar. I'm like, what is it? I was like, oh, they used to do that like no Crowley, but it's like it definitely like bring the team together, get the team hype, bring the juice up. You know what I'm saying? That's all because football is a game of momentum. So we bring the momentum before practice. We just get it on, then we just start rolling from there.
We mentioned Aaron. He's a veteran guy that came in with you. What's he been like to play with?
Oh, Aaron, man, yeah. Aaron, like I like playing with smart guys on the field. Aaron definitely knows what he's doing. You can tell by the way he acts, by the way he moves, by the way he goes on by his day. When I'm on the field, it's like I might get down there. I'll be like, yo, what's going on? He be like, hey, B. Jones, you got? All right, bet, let's do it then. So Aaron just been like a great talker, great leader on the field as well, and he just doing everything right. Same.
That's all I got.
Yeah. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.